Your co-host for today. It is my privilege today to be present here with all our esteemed guests for the preview of Q&I. We are grateful for your presence today, which marks the culmination of our efforts in building India's first and only learning platform that follows a unique assessment-led learning approach. We will be sharing this radically different approach through the various sessions that we have planned for today. But before we get into the details of Q&I will request our Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Vinay Singh, to say a few words. Mr. Vinay is the ED and CEO at Thomson Digital and Q&I. He's also on the board of group companies within India Today Group and Thomson Press. He's responsible for strategic direction and overall growth of all the units of Thomson Digital in India, Mauritius, and the US. Under his leadership, Thomson Digital established itself as one of the most prominent solution providers in the international publishing world. His focus now is on providing transformative solutions in the domestic edtech space, utilizing the company's rich legacy of educational content and technology. Sir.
Once again, good morning, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure and privilege to welcome you all this morning. We're hoping to take you through something that we call truly innovative, path-breaking, and disruptive technology and a solution. Something that the team has put together in the last many years of hard work. People we have drawn from the IITs and with the medical background who have themselves undergone the drill of getting through the NEET. They understand the pain of how the students go through this preparation, and they have also qualified themselves from the IITs and the NEET and IIT, JEE. So it's going to be an exciting 2 hours with you. We're waiting for some more guests who have confirmed to join in, but I'm sure this is a working day and a lot of commitments that they have been going through. So as they trickle down, we'll start with her this morning. And we're hoping to take you through something very exciting and with an intent that it will change the way we help our children learn. So thank you. And Akash, over to you.
So, good morning, dear principals, teachers, and academicians. My name is Akash. I am the head of content here. So, just to give you a brief background, that truly understand that what is the mindset that these students who are preparing for these competitive examinations like IIT and NEET do go through, because I myself have gone through the rigor. So when I was preparing my competitive examination, JEE, that was that time, in 2005, I do have an experience, the first-hand experience of being a student and feeling the same kind of stress and pressure that the students today are facing. I also have an extensive experience in training the students for IIT JEE for the past 10 years. And I also bring along with me the experience of being an educator. So I bring along the two aspects that are very important in the student's preparation journey, the student himself and the educators and teachers who basically help them qualify these examinations, guide them through their preparation journey. But one thing you might all agree with me is the students today who are preparing for these examinations are under tremendous stress. And that is understandably so, because the number of students who are appearing for these examinations, like in IIT, if you see the number of students who appeared last year was around 12 to 13 lakh students. And out of which 1,000 is going to get a seat in the IITs. Now, if you see the NEET scenario as well, nearly 20 lakh students appear for the NEET examinations, and out of which around 1.5 lakh students are going to get, seats in medical seats in their respective colleges. Now, if you see these figures are really, really, challenging when I, as a student, see this, because I have to be inside the 10,000 out of the 12 lakh appearing for JEE examinations, and I also have to be in the 1.5 lakh out of the 20 lakh students appearing for these examinations. Now, when we see this, when a student, and this figure is prominently, projected in front of the students, just to let them understand the gravity of the competition that they are going into. Now, there is one more interesting aspect that I just want to share with you. Last year's IIT JEE's Advanced, the examination which the student needs to qualify to get admission into an IIT college, last year's cutoff was merely 18%. Now, when a student sees the figure of 12 lakh, out of which they need to come into 10,000, that itself is very challenging. But when the student sees that it is only 18% marks that I need to procure in order to get a seat into the IIT, now the perspective completely changes. Earlier, what they felt was not achievable, now it becomes fairly achievable just by changing the perspective. And the way the students are preparing, that also basically adds a lot of stress on their learning journey also, because the word examination usually comes with, a negative connotation, a pressure in itself, right? And to get admission into any of the premium colleges, the only way that is available for these students to qualify one of these examinations. So ultimately, it is the exam itself that the student has to face in order to get a seat into these colleges. So something which brings a negative connotation, a sense of stress into the minds of students, and it is the only way that the student has to, get a seat into the colleges. So there has to be something done in order to reduce the pressure, the stress which the word exam itself causes. It has to be made more enjoyable. It has to be made in such a way that student starts, looking forward to these examinations as a celebration that they want to, have and ultimately overcome in order to get into any of these colleges. So today I'll be taking you through a brief presentation as well as a brief demo of the platform that we have built and what exactly it can do for students, how it can reduce their stress level, how it can help them qualify these examinations with a completely different approach and a completely different mindset without any stress, and at the same time, they'll also start enjoying their learning process. So we are also basically doing a live streaming of this event. So if any of your students want to join us and see how exactly it can help them, please do share this with your students, with your colleagues, so that they also can be part of the presentation that I'm taking you through, so that they also see that the strength that this platform could bring. And this is relatively a zoomed-in image. If you can, if you want, you can take a picture and circulate it with your colleagues and friends. All right. So the picture that I was just painting right in front of you, to understand the toughest battlefield which is there for the student, we all have seen this somewhere or the other way. These pictures and these data that is being projected in front of us, that this many students are going to appear and only fraction of which are actually going to qualify these examinations and get admission into the IIT. So there is a very cut and dry sort of representation of this, because irrespective of how much effort the student has put in, if he is selected, he is successful. If he is not, then he is not considered to be a successful one. Irrespective of how much effort has he put in, during his 2 years or 3 years of preparation. So there is only two way their efforts is being, is being gauged. Either you are successful or you are not. So now here I'm presenting you with some words which basically, are somehow not words, but emotions and challenges that students usually go through. If you ask any of the students, they could easily relate themselves with at least one, and in fact more of these emotions and these words which you can say ultimately is a very part of their lives now. But all of these are always having a negative sort of emotion which basically is triggered in the mind of the students. Now here, with the product that we are trying to, we are bringing in front of the students, do basically take care of the negativity which is, surrounding this whole system of preparation that the student is usually a part of. See, when I see myself preparing, 10 years back, it was not that much of a stress I was under. And especially when I was in school, there was no stress at all. And even today also, when students are, in schools, there's not that much of pressure that the student usually faces. But as soon as they enter this, examination and, competitive examination space, I don't know what happens that ultimately, brings a lot of stress in the mind of students. It should not be so. So we at Q&I basically try to address this exact problem issue, which is there in the mind of students, so that the students start enjoying their process of learning. So let's understand what could be the reasons because of which the student actually faces any of those negative emotions. The first thing is they are unable to identify the strength and weaknesses that they already have. See, a student while preparing for these examinations, they are absolutely not aware of that where exactly are my strengths and where exactly are my weaknesses. Even if some of the students do actually get this idea of, okay, I'm weak in physics, but that is again at a very broad level. So entire physics cannot be weak. It could be, very small section of physics, a chapter, a topic. So that is something that is completely not there in front of the students just to, see. And not only the weaknesses, the strength also. If a student start preparing and he feels confident that, okay, my mathematics is relatively good, but is it good enough for me to, let me qualify the examination? That is again completely not in front of the students. No clear path to success is one of the reasons, because, see, I know that I have to put in, I as a student know that I have to put in, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours of my, day in preparing for these examinations. But how? What should I focus on? Should I only focus on the topics and subjects? Or should I also focus on other aspects of examination as well? Because it is not only the preparation that we are, talking about. It is also the way we give examinations. Because giving examinations itself is a completely different ball game together. Irrespective of how good you have prepared for these examinations, how well you have, or how good a strategy that you have to give these examinations in the next 3 hours that you have is also going to be of much more strength and sort of give you a more clarity towards it. Don't get personalized feedback. Students do not get personalized feedback because, see, in the current preparation scenario, it is like a one-size-fits-all approach. I have been teaching students for the last 10 years, and I understand that because I, as a teacher, go in the classroom and deliver the same lecture to everyone, irrespective of that what exactly is the challenge the individual student is facing. It might be a possibility. Like, now let's understand a scenario. Like, understand this on behalf of a student who is not very strong in one of the subjects. Let us consider chemistry, right? Chemistry is a subject which is to be studied both for JEE and both for NEET, and NEET as well. Now, when a student is not very good in chemistry, now the current curriculum that the student usually is there, usually follows in order to prepare for this examination is fixed amount of time each day, 2 hours lecture of chemistry, 2 hours lecture of math or biology, and 2 hours lectures of chemistry. Now imagine a scenario when the student is already good in physics. He can cover up the 2-hour duration of lecture in just, let us say, 1 hour. Now the 1 hour that the student saves should be given to the subject or topic which he is actually weak at, right? In the examination also, when we strategize, this is how we do it. We try to cover one subject very quickly so that we can give the additional time that we save to the one that is a challenge for us. In JEE, usually students finish up chemistry very quickly and they save time from chemistry to give it to mathematics because that requires more time and that is more challenging. This is how we do it. So the point I'm trying to make here is, when I am weak in chemistry, I should be given an opportunity to dedicate more time to understand chemistry. And when I'm good at physics, I should be giving relatively less time because I can understand physics in 1 hour. The 2-hour lecture is not required for me. But this is not available to the students right now. No clear information on where you stand in your peer group. Now, as I said that out of the 12 lakh students, only 10,000 do qualify for JEE, and out of the 20 lakh students, around 1.5 lakh students qualify for the NEET examination. Now, when you see, when a student who is preparing for this examination, at no point in his preparation, he could actually have this feeling that whether I am in the 10,000 zone or not, and how others are preparing. I can only see my preparation with my perspective, कि कल मैं जहाँ था उससे अच्छा हुआ कि नहीं. That is all I can monitor, but I cannot monitor how exactly the others are doing because it's a competition. Irrespective of how good I am doing, if others are doing much better than me, then I do not stand a chance of getting a qualification in the examination. Even if I am scoring more than 90% of marks, if all the 10,000 students are scoring more than 91% marks, then I'm not getting into the 10,000 zone. So there is no clear picture in front of the students that how exactly they are doing with respect to their peer group that they are competing with. So what do the student actually need? So what if there was someone who could let the students know their exact strengths and weaknesses, right down to the subject, chapter, and topic level, not just the subject level, going down to the chapter level and going down to the topic level. Imagine a scenario where a student just identifies that he is weak in physics. Now imagine if he could also identify I am weak in physics because I am not able to solve the questions of rotational mechanics. And further down, if you could identify that I am not able to solve the questions of rotational mechanics because I am having a problem in finding moment of inertia. And going down again, if you could just identify that it is, while finding the moment of inertia, it is not the concept of physics that I am weak at. It is because the integration which is involved in finding the moment of inertia is actually making me weak in the entire topic, and as a result in the entire chapter, and as a result in the entire subject. So such drilled down analytics, the granular information about their strength and weaknesses, if they could get, then they would be able to address the exact problem areas that is there in order to be more confident in that particular subject. Now, so what if there could be someone who could let the student understand their level of preparation and then craft a personalized learning journey out for them? Because see, as I said, every student is different. And so is his way of understanding, his way of consuming knowledge, his way of preparation, his challenges, his weaknesses, completely different from the second child who is also preparing with him. So there should be a personalized learning approach available for each of the students. What if some who could give the detailed, uh, you know, feedback specific to the child? Show the student their preparation level with their peer groups, and let the student understand that where exactly they stand in all the students who are going to appear for the examination the year which he is going to appear as well. So this is what the student needs, and that is what we have come up with, and we are presenting to you the Q&A that we have made for the students. So this Q&A we have made for the I in you. Now, why we are saying that for the I in you? Because we want to bring out that individual inside the student which actually is, looking forward to, get an admission into the colleges that they are aspiring for. Let it be IITs or let it be any premium medical college that they are working towards. Now here with Q&I, we are bringing a completely completely different, completely radical approach of assessment-led learning. Now, till now, we have considered, hello. Till now, we have considered examinations to be the end of our preparation journey. Right now, we usually follow a cycle: learn, then give exam, then again learn, then give exam. So exam is always considered to be the end of the preparation journey. But what we thought with the experiences that we bring along as a team of IIT graduates and people who have qualified NEET examinations, and they are into teaching fraternity as well. So with the experiences that we have gained, we do agree that it should not be the end of the preparation journey. Actually, it should be the beginning of the preparation journey. Let me tell you why. Because unless you give an assessment or an examination, you won't be able to identify what the challenges that you actually have. And without understanding your weak points, your challenges, you won't be able to address them in the given time frame so that you'll be able to qualify for these examinations. So assessments are going to let you understand your current level of preparation and where exactly you should be in order to qualify for these examinations. So that is why we have made the platform assessment-led learning. How exactly it works? It works because we have put the student at the center. We have made assessment-led learning in such a way that it is personalized to a particular student. And how do we personalize it? I'll show you in the demo of the platform that I'll take you through. And we have also made the platform adaptive and intelligent. And there is also a reason why we have made the platform adaptive and intelligent. So without further delay, I'll quickly take you to the platform and show you how exactly it works. So as soon as a student signs up on the platform, this is the dashboard that the student gets. Now, as I said that we basically try to carve a personalized learning journey for the student. Now, personalization is not possible without understanding the student first. First, we have to understand that where exactly are the learning level of the students. What exactly does he know? What exactly does not know? And if we have that information with us, then only we'll be able to carve a personalized learning for you, a journey for a student. How do we do that? Is the first thing that the student gets on the platform is this personalized preparation assessment. And this is sort of a diagnostic test that we give to the students. Now, once the student starts attempting it, so for JEE, it is a 3-hour duration test of 75 questions, and for NEET, it is again a 3-hour duration of test of 200 questions. So the student attempts this personalized preparation assessment, and as the student completes this personalized preparation assessment, there is a lot of things that is going to happen in the platform for that particular child. So I'll quickly submit this examination just to let you know what exactly it does. As soon as the student submits this test, the first thing that the student is going to get is the immediate result of or the immediate outcome of this test. How much marks did the student score? And not only the marks, the student will also be able to understand that from which topics the question were from, and how many questions was he able to attempt correctly or incorrectly, and how many of the questions he just left unattempted. So this is again a granular information that the student is going to get. The best part of it is review questions. The student can go and see that what are the mistakes that I did in the test. So there they can see all the wrong answers that they gave, and what is the correct answer for that, and also the correct explanation, a detailed correct explanation to solve the question. But we do not stop here. In this view details section, the student will be able to see that this particular question, how many of the students, what % of students actually gave the correct answer. Now, as I said, that it is very important for the student to, keep understanding their position with the entire peer group as well. Now, if I see that only 25% of the students has given the correct answer, that means that gives me sort of a understanding that 75% of the students have not given the correct answer. So I'll not be that disturbed. Now, in classroom, when I used to teach students, there is usually this fear among the students of asking doubts. They do not ask doubts in the classroom because they somehow feel that ये शायद मुझे ही नहीं आता है, बाकी सारी क्लास ने ये कर लिया है. And that is the feeling they usually get, and they do not ask a particular doubt because they think that it is a silly thing that I'm going to ask in the class, and the whole class is going to make a fun of me. But here, if they see that, okay, this question was not solved by more than 75% of the students, then obviously more than 75% of the students do feel this as a challenge. So they won't be hesitating in asking this question to the tutor because he has a data behind it, because it is not only one who have not solved it, 75% others who are there also who have not solved it. So it is not a silly question that I'm going to ask. The second information that the student gets from here is, what was the topic from which this question was? And not just the topic, what was the concept required to solve this question? So it is, even if the student has not answered this question correctly, he'll be able to understand that what was the concept that I need to go and revisit in order to solve questions like this. Now, there's one more aspect of preparation that I just want to, and I think we as an academicians do know this already, that we cannot prepare students for questions. Even if I let a student solve more than 1 lakh of questions in each of the subjects, I cannot guarantee that the JEE or NEET examination that he is going to sit in is going to be subjected to the same questions that he have already done. Most of the times, in fact, majority, more than 90% of the times, they do get a fresh question every year, which they have not solved earlier, right? So we cannot prepare the students for the questions. The only thing that we can prepare the students for is the concepts. If they have the concepts correctly, they have understood the concepts in a detailed way, in a more confident way, then only they'll be able to solve any question irrespective to whether they have solved it earlier or not. So only thing that we can prepare the students for is the concepts. And that is what we also try to basically give them an idea of. If they have not solved a question correctly, what is the concept that they want to go and revisit and, you know, revise it altogether. So this is how, you know, the assessment or any assessment on the platform will give all these insight to the students. Now, since this is a diagnostic that the test that the platform provides, because of this diagnostic test, now the platform is able to identify that what are the learning levels of the student in each of the subjects, each of the topics, and where exactly he stands. So the platform now identifies the exact challenges and the weaknesses that the student has. And from there, it starts, you know, crafting a personalized learning journey for the students. How do we do that? Is this MyQ matrix, if you see, this is a 4-quadrant matrix that the platform creates for the student, where it exactly explicitly says that which are the topics that the student already has strength in, which are the topics that the student is, you know, relatively weak in, what are the topics that are not entirely the strengths, but still that they are the opportunities, or they are basically, there is an opportunity of putting just a slight amount of time in making these topics, you know, get back into the strength quadrant. And what are the hurdles that the student has? They are not entirely the weaknesses, but still student face a lot of challenges in this particular, in these topics. Now, once you click it, the student will be exactly able to see that what is, if these are my topics of weaknesses, what is the proficiency that I have in each of these topics. So it clearly and explicitly says that you have this much of proficiency in each of the topics that are considered to be your weaknesses. Now, you have to start working on them and try converting them into strength. So this is the information that the platform basically gets and reflects to the student. Now from here, the personalization starts. Now in order to, you know, make or in order to convert these weaknesses into strengths, the student will go and start their practice sessions, because we understand that it is not the classroom lecture which basically, the students' learning actually starts after the classroom lectures when they start practicing questions, right? They understand the concepts in the classroom, but unless they start applying it to the questions, they won't be able to, get the entire gist of the concepts and how exactly to use it. So that is where we consider that the learning of the student starts when they start practicing the questions. And that is where we have this custom practice session where the students could go and start practicing. They can start practicing for the entire subject if they are at the end of their preparation journey, or if they have just completed a particular chapter in the school or tuition center, whichever the student is going to, they can start practicing for the entire chapter. Now, they can also break this into smaller topics. Now imagine in my school, if there is one topic that is basic of algebra, let us say complex number is there, and today in my class, this particular concept, basic of algebra, was just discussed. So I'll just select this particular topic and start practicing. Now the beauty of these practice sessions are, these practice sessions are all adaptive. So what exactly this adaptive means is, since the platform has now already identified that where exactly is the learning level of the student in the entire syllabus, so it also understands that in complex number, where exactly is the learning level of the student. Now, when the student starts this practice session, the questions, start coming to the students from the level that they are at. Now, I have few students, I would like to, involve them in the discussion as well. So many a times students feel they're not able to, complete their homeworks. Is it true? If it is a true scenario, just raise your hands. I'll be able to see that usually we do have a lot of backlogs and we do face this issue a lot. Okay. The reason why the students are not able to complete their homeworks and have a lot of backlogs is the day when they go or the day when they start attempting their homework, and 4 or 5 questions, if they are able to solve in a row without any external help and without any hindrance, that day they are able to complete their homework. Is it correct? जिस दिन आप होमवर्क करने बैठो और शुरुआत के 4-5 क्वेश्चन, if you are able to do it without any hindrance, without any external help, उस दिन होमवर्क कंप्लीट हो जाता है. But the day when you start attempting homework and शुरुआत के 4-5 क्वेश्चन नहीं बनते हैं, then उस दिन होमवर्क कंप्लीट होना थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है. The reason why it is so is, see, if I am a student and I am preparing for this examination, if I am at a very basic level, I should be, given questions, and I should be starting my practice sessions from the knowledge that I have and at the level I am. And agar मैं simple level पे हूँ, तो I should be given simple questions. Then only I'll be able to, gather more confidence, and then ultimately I'll be able to attempt relatively more advanced questions. तो जितना पहले आता है उसको properly, if we can master it and then move to the next level, is the way to go forward. So this is where the adaptive engine of the platform works, and this is how the adaptive engine of the platform works. It first gives you a question which at the level which you are at. And now if you start giving answers correctly, it will gradually take you to the advanced levels. So if you master one particular level, it will graduate to the above level. If you master that particular level, it will graduate to the next level. And this gradual thing is going to build a lot of confidence. And let me tell you, these examinations are not just the amount of preparation that the student has, it is also about the confidence that the student has in themselves. So it is totally a game of confidence. Even if you are you have covered the entire 100% of your syllabus, but you are only at 70-80% confidence, there is a high chance that you won't be able to qualify for these examinations. But if you have only covered your 70% of syllabus, but with 100% confidence, you'll be able to qualify these examinations, because as I told you that this year's JEE cutoff was only 18%. So you do not need to cover the entire syllabus as such, but whatever you cover has to be at the 100% confidence. So here the student starts attempting the examination, and as they submit their answers, depending upon whether their answer was correct or wrong, is going to decide what is the next question that they are going to get. So if they attempt, so currently when we see, we usually think that there is only 3 steps the student has to master: that simple, the medium, and the difficult, right? But we as an educator understand that simple is also, and between simple and medium there are a lot of steps that the student has to cover. It is not just the student can jump from simple to medium and then jump from medium to difficult in just 3 steps. There are multiple steps, and that is why the platform, with a different permutation combinations of the way students solve the question's difficulty, the question's conceptual difficulty, the time and effort the question requires to solve the questions, and many such parameters we have considered, and we have divided this simple itself into multiple steps, medium itself into a multiple steps, and difficult itself into a multiple steps, so that the learning journey of the student is very gradual. Imagine you traveling at some place and you have this very bumpy road. You won't enjoy that ride, right? But if it is a smooth and decent road, you'll enjoy your entire journey. And this is what happens to the students also. When they attempt and when they solve questions, it is always a bumpy ride. 4 question हुए, फिर 4 question नहीं हुए. फिर 4 क्वेश्चन हुए, फिर 4 क्वेश्चन हुए. They do not enjoy that process. Now imagine a process where they are able to gradually elevate them, and it is a very natural progress that they are making towards the ultimate level which is actually required to solve the questions of competitive examinations. Then that journey is something that they are going to enjoy. And there is one more problem that the student usually faces. They do not understand that when do I reach that level that I'll be confident enough to solve any question of the competitive examination. But here on the platform, the way we have designed it, once you have reached that level, the platform itself will tell you, now you have reached the level where you will be able to solve any question of the examination that you are preparing for. Now it's time for you to move to next topic, because there are many more topics that you need to master. So this is how the platform works. It lets you know that, yes, now you have reached that level. Now you go to the next topic. And that is how the student also starts getting confidence. So this is how the adaptive engine of the platform works. And as soon as you submit the test, as I said, you'll be getting the overview of the examination then and there itself. I remember in 2005 when we were preparing, we used to get those, packages. We used to, buy some packages, and we used to solve them. That, I don't know whether you'll be able to relate it or not. It was called YG file. We used to get it mailed, and we used to solve them. फिर उसको हम लोग वापस mail करते थे. फिर they used to correct the answers. They used to send us. तो ये पूरे प्रोसेस में ना हम 1 महीने लग जाते थे just to understand that कि 1 महीने पहले जो टेस्ट दिया था, what were the correct answers to the questions that I could not do. But here the student will be able to see it instantly. So they do not have to wait. And they could also go and again review any of the questions that they did wrong, and they could clearly see that what was the concept. Okay, I did this question wrong. What was the concept I needed? I needed the concept of inequality of 2 or more complex numbers. And I know that this is the inequality question that I need to go and master. So this is how it is done on the platform. Okay, so this is how the adaptive engine works. The third aspect of the platform is, as I said, the granular analytics. The student needs to understand that if they are not weak or they are not good at a particular chapter, what is that one reason because of which the entire chapter is affected or the entire subject is being affected. So if the student keeps practicing on the platform, this is how his progress will be at some level. There will be enough topics in his strength, there will be enough topics in his opportunities, weaknesses and hurdles, right? Now the idea is, first, see, usually what happens with the students is, the chapter or the topic, which usually is currently dealt in the class, they are always good at. And when they revisit the topics after a month or 6 weeks later, बहुत सारे concepts they tend to forget, and the topic or the chapter which was once their strength is no longer their strength after 2 or 3 months of time, because they could not go and see, and they could not actually judge that whether they are still my strengths or not. Now how the platform works is, it will obviously keep giving you questions, and many a times it will also give you questions which you were already good at. So now if you are not able to solve that question, the platform identifies that this topic you were good at some point of time. Now you are not able to solve that question, so that topic will slip from the topic of strength to the topic of, let's say, opportunities and hurdles, depending upon what is the proficiency that is currently of that particular topic. So the student will be able to clearly monitor that this week I have 264 topics in my strength. Going forward, if in next week it is just at 260, so I understand that 4 of the topics that were earlier my strength, I need to go and revisit again and make them strength till make them strength in the given time, because I do not want them to slip from strength to opportunities and ultimately to weaknesses. I will not wait the topics to go down to the weakness level. I will, I will be, covering that uh, immediately and then converting them into strength. So the idea is you do not have to work only on the weaknesses. You have also, the student has to also work on maintaining the strength as their strength and not let any of the topics fall from that. Here the student will be able to see the entire subject performances. Now here, there is a section where the student will be able to see all the analytics of all the effort the student has put on the platform till now, will be shown as a consolidated analytics to the students. Here, the student will be see what is their subject, what is the proficiencies that they have, they have gained in each of the subjects, mathematics, physics, and chemistry, and they can even go at the subject level to see what is the chapter-wise proficiency that they have gained. Let us say I'm selecting mathematics. In mathematics, I can see that in sets and relation, I have 98% proficiency. I'm very good at statistics. Now, sequence and series, I am at 85%. So I must, start revising sequence and series so that I also make it at 100%. Now, currently in the current scenario, what the student will do is, a student will go and start revising the entire sequence and series as such. But here with the tool that we have provided or the platform that we have provided to the student can go and see that if I have a proficiency of 85% in sequence and series, what topic is, something that I need to work on in order to make it 100%. So I can clearly see my arithmetic progression is 100%, my geometric progression is 100%, harmonic progression I am still 98%. So the only topic that I am weak at is the arithmetico-geometric progression, which is called AGP. So in the entire sequence and series chapter, in order to master it, you do not need to go and revise the entire chapter as such. You can go and only revise the AGP questions and AGP concepts and try to make this 100%. Effectively, it will make the entire sequence and series to be 100%. So the student could have this targeted approach of where exactly they need to put their efforts in. So this is similarly for all the subjects and all the chapters. In physics, let us say, I want to see that what is exactly my position in each of the chapters. So I'll go and see in physics. I could see that motion in straight line, I'm really struggling at. So I'll go and see that what are the topics that I actually need to focus on to make it 100%. See, graphs and equations of motion, I am already proficient at. So I do not need to go and start studying them. But here there are 4 topics that I need to put more focus in. So this is how the students will be able to understand at a very granular level that where exactly they need to target and they need to put their efforts in order to maximize their learning outcome. Now, as I said, that preparation is not just about how you understand a concept. It is also about making good strategies. So there are 2 important aspects that we have covered on our platform. One is the core learning skills. Now this core learning skills is basically how the student consumes knowledge. Many a times it happens that students do come and complain that, sir, I have understood everything, but I do not remember formulas. I'm not able to remember formulas. And that is what is basically creating a problem. But that is not very evident to each and every one of the students. Now here, with the core learning skills that we are providing, we can clearly pinpoint the problem areas or the challenges that the student has in how he consumes knowledge. Whether he is not remembering the formula is the actual problem, or whether application of those formulas in the question is the actual problem. Many a times it happens that the students are not able to understand the question properly and then solve it. Many a times what happens is there are multiple concepts involved in a particular question and they are not able to decipher that information from each of the concepts and then ultimately, put them all together to solve the question. So this is also something very important that the platform has given. And apart from this, the platform also gives you enough information on how to make the strategies in the examination hall, because the student are going to appear in an examination which is of a 3-hour duration, and they have to attempt and solve a certain amount of questions. So if the time management is not right, many of we being teachers, we might have faced this question from many of the students that I was not able to solve the entire paper in the given time duration. Does it happen to you guys? And most, yeah. So if you're not able to manage your time well, there is a high probability that you won't be able to finish your entire paper in the given time. And the irony of this situation is that the questions that usually we leave in these examinations, or we are not able to, solve them in the given time frame, are usually the ones which are actually the easiest ones. I don't know how it happens, but it always used to happen to me. The questions which I could not solve were actually the ones which were relatively very easy, and had I have had the opportunity to at least see them once, I could have easily solved them. But then again, because of the time management, that usually does not happen. And effectively, you also have to maintain a correct speed of solving each of the questions. And if you are not maintaining a correct speed, because see, if in JEE examination, in a 3-hour duration, you have to solve around 90 questions. So each question, if you see it that way, ideally requires 2 minutes of your time. Now, if you are putting 10 minutes and 15 minutes of your time in solving one question, then obviously you are going wrong. So you have to monitor your speed as well. And accuracy is obviously very important, because each of these examinations carry a negative mark. So if you are not monitoring your accuracy in such a way, then it is going to be very difficult, because accuracy, the negative marking which is there, actually hurts the most. Yeah, it does not, the question you somehow attempt incorrectly does not only take away the marks that was allocated to it, it also takes away the marks from the ones you have already done correctly. So you have to have this accuracy also in mind. So these are the strategic inputs that the student usually gets from the platform. Now the last aspect of the platform is, now we have already given the information to the student where they are weak at. We have provided them with a tool in order to how they could go and practice on their weaknesses and make them strengths. But we also have this My Task Center, specially personalized for an individual student. Now, with all the weaknesses, the challenges the platform has identified in the student, whether it is because of the proficiency, because of the core learning skill, because of the strategic skills, the platform basically designs a specific task for each of the individual students. So when you open the task center, we have the task for the day and the task for the week for the student to guide them to be prepared at the level that they need to be in order to qualify these examinations. So what we do in the task for the day is we give one task on the core learning skill that the student needs to improve on, and one task on the strategic skill that the student needs to improve on in order to qualify for these examinations. So here the student will be attempting these tasks and basically trying to overcome the weaknesses that they had and ultimately converting them into strengths, whether it being the topic proficiency, whether it being the skills that are required to qualify and master these examinations. Apart from this, the student will also be able to plan their learning journey. So they could actually take a target for themselves that this week I want to attempt 3 chapters. So they could select which of the chapters that they want to take a test on and see whether they have progressed with all the efforts that they have been putting. So once they save this, it will be reflected on their dashboard as a weekly planner. And here, there is a very interesting thing that we provide for the students, that is the progress journey. Now imagine, we all see cricket, right? Oh, cricket is one of the favorite games that we play. And currently, if you see, just a raise of hands, is it, there are two aspects of it, batting first and then chasing, right? Currently, the trend, if you see from the last few years, chasing has been the favorite, choice of the captain who wins tosses. And it is because they actually have a target in mind and they know how to structure their innings in such a way so that they'll be able to complete. And even if they are falling behind, they actually know that they need to accelerate at some point so that they'll be able to touch that required run rate that is required for them to win the game. So here what we do is, from the day the student joins the platform to the day he is going to appear for the examination, we give them an ideal progress journey that they should follow in order to complete their entire syllabus well within the time frame. That means 4 to 6 weeks before the examination, so that they have ample time with them to revise and not leave everything for the end. जब हम लोग तैयारी कर रहे थे तो I remember that at the end of the journey, or let us say 1 month before the examination, there was a lot of syllabus which was pending. And I had a very little time to cover all those syllabus because I was not monitoring that right from day one, that whether the pace at which I am studying all these chapters and covering all this syllabus is the correct pace or not. And if I could have monitored, that situation could not have come. And that is where it is going to be very important for the students also. Right from day one, they will be having their ideal progress curve, and they will be able to see that all I need is, I need to cover 3 chapters or 3 topics per week in order to be confident enough that my syllabus is going to be covered well within 4 to 6 weeks before the examination, so that I have time for revision. And if I am falling down, then this ideal run rate which is required for the student, increases. It is adaptive as well. आप अगर सही से, if you are surpassing this expectation, then your run rate will come down. If you are falling behind it, then it will go up. So this is again a very important aspect, because me being a student would like to know that whether my progress is at the correct pace or not. And the last thing that the platform gives is this MyQ Today score. There are many more aspects to it. I'm just keeping it brief because I would really like the opportunity to present it in a more elaborate way to the students, because ultimately they are the ones who are going to use it and take benefits from it. So I would love the opportunity to come to your schools and then give a presentation in front of the students, because they are actually going to get a lot of insights and a lot of good inputs in such a way that they will be able to strengthen their learning curve altogether. So this MyQ Today score, why is it important? See, the major challenge that the student usually faces is, see, all the effort that they give to their studies on a single day, they are not able to understand that whether they have progressed towards their goal or not. Has it done any positive increment in their journey of success or not? So there is a lot of uncertainty behind it. Now imagine a scenario if I gave around 6 hours of my time today in understanding everything, or learning all the concepts, mastering my weaknesses and everything. And then I could see that I have gained at least 5 to 7%, or I have gone 7 to 8% closer to my target. So this is what that MyQ Today score basically tells you. Every day the effort that you put in will be reflected that whether you have, progressed in the positive direction or you have stayed or you have gone down. So this is something that the student will be very anxious to, because see, अगर मुझे पता हो कि मैंने आज जितना भी effort डाला is going to take me forward, right? So for the next day I'll be more excited because I have moved forward towards my goal. So I'll be looking forward to how to start my next day, and then the next day when I put my efforts in, and again if I could see that I am again moving closer to the target, then it is very sort of a good vibe which comes, and now I'll be more confident in putting efforts because I could see that my efforts are clearly reflecting into my chances of success. So this is a brief demonstration of the platform and how it works. So I'll open this forum for any questions that you have. But before that, I'll just quickly let you understand that with all the in-depth and accurate analytics, the student will be able to really craft their own personalized learning journey. And we are basically a company which is by the promoters of India Today Group. And we come from a legacy of around 40 years of work into content and technology. And we have given our services to the entire scientific community of the world, the places, the people like Elsevier's, Springer's, and we have been the largest service providers to this scientific community. And with all the knowledge and the effort that we have gained for the last 40, 50 years is what we have poured in this product to make the learning journey of the students more less stressful and more enjoyable. So that is how I'll end this presentation, and I'm open to answer any of the questions, any of the queries that you all have. So please, wahan pe mic.
A very good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, I would like to thank the group for having me on this dais. I also appreciate the Q&I team. I feel the end users will really benefit from it. Some students also take NEET examination along with JEE examination.
Yes.
So do they have to download two different apps or two different things? Or we have a combination of maths and biology?
No, since the type of questions and the way to prepare for these examinations is completely different, right? The flavor of the questions is completely different. So we have kept both the platforms separate.
Okay.
So the JEE thing is completely separate from the NEET. So if the student wants to give both the examinations at the same time, they would have to choose the two platforms separately.
So in that case, the chemistry and the physics questions which come for both would be different? Or?
Yes. So see, as I said, the flavor of questions for JEE is completely different from what NEET asks. So we have made sure that the physics and chemistry questions which come for JEE are in the same spirit and flavor that the JEE asks.
Okay.
And the physics and chemistry questions that we have for NEET are in the same spirit and flavor that NEET requires. So we have kept both of them separate. We have not mixed them because then it will be not fair for the students.
Okay, thank you. The another question is when they are solving the questions.
Yes.
So I couldn't see somewhere where how much time has been taken to solve a particular question. So when we do the granular analysis,
yes,
would the child be able to understand that I spent more time on a certain kind of question and I could crack certain questions within seconds and some took more time. So the time management section then can help the child to solve those kinds of questions where the child has spent more time and then later on may be able to solve quickly with repeated tests.
Yeah. So there are two ways we track this. One is, if you see this average time section, so each of the question has been assigned an average time depending upon the level of complexity the question has. So here we try to give an insight to the student that if you are able to solve this question within this time frame which is allotted, then you are comfortable. And if you are exceeding this time frame, then there is something that you need to work upon after the examination as well. And there is, we have built intelligence here also. Usually what happens if I tell the student upfront that this question is going to require 3 minutes or 4 minutes of your time, or let us say 1 minute of your time, that usually gives the preconceived notion if it is requiring 1 minute, then it must be an easy question, right? So we try to hide that till the time finishes. But as the timer will finish, then we try to show it to the students, not upfront. So 1 मिनट का सवाल है, अगर 1 मिनट खत्म हो जाता है, तब हम बताते हैं कि ये क्वेश्चन 1 मिनट में हो सकता था, now you have taken more time. So there is one part of it which we show here. At the second part of it, when we go to the analytics section, let me just show it to you. Sorry. When we go to the analytics section, we try to tell the students 3 aspects of it. One is how much time you are spending in answering the questions incorrectly, and how much time you are spending in answering the questions correctly. And in this time frame, on 18th November, let us say you spend this much time, how many questions have you attempted correctly, and how many questions have you attempted incorrectly? So this is an information that we give to the students. Apart from this, we also give the speed to the students, that what is the average speed that you are taking in answering questions on a particular day. So this is again is going to be a very insight. The way we see it, that it should be a consolidated report that should come to the student, because ultimately they have to give 90 or they have to solve 90 questions in a 3-hour duration of time. So even if they exceed some of or they exceed time of 2 minutes, which is usually required by each of the questions, they exceed their 2 minutes duration in answering some of the questions, they should also keep this in mind, that I need to answer few more questions within the 2 minutes time frame, so that basically balances it out.
Thank you so much. One last question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there some voice assistance provided or some assistance provided to understand all the analysis which we could see?
Yeah.
So, or the child has to spend his own time in reading all the analysis.
Correct.
Is there some assistance provided?
Yes. So every child who basically joins our platform, we have these explainer videos of how to navigate the platform, how to understand each of the analytics. We have made detailed explainer videos for it, which will be provided to the student, which the student can go and see any time of their preparation. Yeah.
Now the child has taken this, and the child is going through all the tests, but
Yes.
yet needs some help to understand how his scores are going, where he should navigate things.
Can
May
you
not
touch
be
upon
just
the
the
hover
videos.
that you have for each of the analytics?
Sorry?
The hover.
Hover. Yes. So usually what happens is, in each of the analytics section, we have put this eye icon, which basically tells that how exactly this analytics should be read. Now, if I am understanding your question correctly, you are saying that is there someone who basically could explain all the
Yes.
analytics to the student at any
Or to
point
the
which
parents,
he requires?
yes.
Right. No, that we have not provided, because see, if the student is not getting into the analytics themselves, they won't be able to understand. And see, ultimately, we want to have a model where the student, participates more in understanding themselves, and also, put in more efforts in, understanding a particular concept also, learning part. See, me being a teacher, I understand that my contribution in a student's success is very limited. Majority of the effort that the student has put in themselves. And if they are in this habit of putting efforts in understanding their challenges and overcoming them, they are going to have a more confident journey. Although the platform is already giving enough of the insights, we let the student, whosoever joins our platform, we let them understand that how exactly each of the analytics is to be read.
If I can add a little
Yes.
bit here, We believe, madam, that the platform has been designed in such a way that it is easy to understand. The analytics are plain and simple. We haven't complicated anything because we are very sensitive that unless we make the students understand what we're trying to make them understand, there's no point giving them tons of analytics. So right in the beginning, while we have designed the platform, that this has been one of the sensitive aspects. So yes, there is one definitely valid question that when the students come in the beginning, they're not used to those analytics, they're seeing it for the first time. They could have a situation where they would find it a little difficult to actually make sense out of it. For that reason, we have also provided the hovers. Now, in case, and there's another aspect to it, student understanding is one thing. Maybe the parents would like to get involved in whatever the students are kind of, and they're not really used to these kind of analytics. We most certainly can consider that aspect, although we don't really have it for now, because we really think that we would love to do it, but the scalability could be a challenge. You know, I mean, we really like to reach out to people across the country, all regions, all languages, and so on. We will figure it out as to how to give them also that in-depth analysis so that it's easy for the parents also to make sense out of it. Now, there is one aspect which I would like you to cover. How have we made sure that the platform has a facility for the students to mail all their journey to their parents periodically? Either they can time it, they could do it once in a week, once in fortnight, once in a month, depending on how the parents would like to have a look at it. So there is a facility, also the teachers. They would really like to look at as to how the students are progressing. So there is a facility in the platform which will enable the student to actually take the entire PDF of whatever has happened during the journey and send it to whoever they want to send it to. Sure. Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. And we have been sensitive while we are designing the product. Absolutely. Just to add a few more words here, this is our first step towards making this platform a truly innovative and disruptive platform to actually create the way students should learn. That's right. There's one more thing I wanted to, with your permission, if I may say so. See, we have been facing one challenge that I've been kind of traveling with my team to a couple of these cities that we're launching in because to get hands-on experience of what the parents and the learners and the educators are feeling about it. And we tend to invite the entire group, you know, all the three pillars, so that we get the perspective right. Now, there is one thing that I completely understand that the challenge is kind of global. We have students, and as you can see, a good 30 lakh students write these exams. However, there's a caveat here. A lot of them are not regular about their preparation. So while they join in a big number, a lot of them simply, if I may say so, without kind of, you know, no offense here for the students, they don't really mean it. So while they're preparing for it, in a very large number, they also go and sit in the exams in a very large number. A smaller portion of them are actually working hard towards it. Now, we also would like to solve this problem, not just for the students, but also for the educators and the parents. Periodically, we would like to give them the statistics of their preparation itself. How long have they been spending their time on the platform? How many tests have they been actually attending? How long have they been working on preparing their personalized learning journey for each of the subjects? So this will give another perspective to the parents, because I must say this, I don't want to sound very political about it. I come from a humble family, worked very hard to get where I am today. My parents have spent a lot of hard work and a lot of enough amount of money while I was getting educated, and I have that sensitivity in me. Even today, although I went to a school 45 years ago, not much has changed in our country, unfortunately. Their parents are still working very hard to send their children to school. I'm sure most of you would agree to that. And it's a big amount of money they are trying to, you know, spend in making sure that the children's future is secure. However, there is nothing that they can assure them. Nothing can assure actually that they're doing the right job. So we're trying to bring in all these analytics and the information together on the platform so the parents and the educators are equally informed about their journey, students learning and the journey, on a daily basis, weekly basis, fortnightly basis, depending on how you would like to see that. Thank you.
I just wanted to understand because from what I have gathered here, it's only an assessment model, right? It's only an assessment model.
It's also, sorry. Although we kind of somehow come across as an assessment model, we are a complete platform, madam. A complete platform. If a student wishes to just take this platform and prepare for his NEET and IIT, he doesn't have to do anything else other than his teachers who is actually teaching him in the school.
No, but human intervention does help because students would like to go to coaching
Yourselves,
classes.
yourselves, the school itself.
Yeah. No, what happens is, practically speaking, the standard of questions that are there in NEET or in JEE,
Sure.
usually the school teachers are not able to solve that kind of question because they are mainly focusing on the board examination. The
Absolutely.
principals also want that because their
Absolutely.
board results should be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now for that extra effort that is to be put in students' journey of learning for attempting the JEE or NEET, they usually go for coaching classes. That extra coaching is required. Now with that coaching and with their kind of assessment happening and this as a different assessment module, how feasible it is, to have
Both.
two models plus the schools.
You're absolutely
yes.
right. So what we've been sensitive to all of these things. Now, although we may sound or appear to be a third pillar in the preparation journey, we tend to be not, because whatever is happening at the coaching center, for example, and we don't come here to either compete with the school or the coaching centers. We're not doing that at all. We are the enablers. But the enabler doesn't mean that we are an add-on. We essentially come where both of these institutions sort of end their efforts. Now, unless the students have the kind of analytics and a personalized journey for themselves, what happens is they have a school, maybe 30 students sit in a classroom, study a subject, and the time they finish their school, they have yet another school to go to. And there's nothing much changes out there either. You have yet another 60 students sitting with you and doing the same thing all over again.
And two different topics going on.
Exactly. So how does he prepare then?
Simultaneously.
How does he prepare then? So the point I'm trying to make, without trying to, I'm no offense to either of the sides. If typically a student is in the classroom, class 12, class 11, wherever he is, and he kind of, let's see that he subscribes to this platform. So topic by topic, as he is being taught in the school. So that's the topic you're teaching in the school, whatever topic we choose. Same topic is also being covered on the platform, but in a way, JEE or NEET would ask the questions and exams. So that answers your first question as to these are two different things, and school is not in a position to sort of prepare the student for NEET or JEE because that's not the kind of preparation they are doing. Their focus is class 12, class 11 exam, board exams. However, although the way they have been asked questions in the NEET or JEE, the syllabus is still the same. NEET or JEE does not go anything beyond the NCERT syllabus. Conceptually, they are still the same.
Twisted. The questions are more
for
twisted.
which we have prepared.
Also wanted to ask that,
Sure.
like I have heard about these modules, but only till 8th or 10th standard, like Fun 2 10 also, or Mindspark. So what they do is, wherever the child is stuck, they take that child back to the concept, say HCF, LCM, and then bring him back to the level where the question is being asked.
Right.
Yes.
So do you have that kind of feature also in
That's
this?
exactly what it is. The adaptive engine that we have provided here, we could take you through that at your convenience, because that was one of the things we were trying to explain in the beginning. So there's an adaptive engine that is a core of our platform. So when we take the test, what we do is we have reversed the whole situation. We first take a test, a diagnostics test kind of a thing from the student, the moment they enter the platform. And based on where they stand in each of their subjects, the platform knows that, okay, at this level you are in physics, at certain other level you are in chemistry, maths, biology, zoology, or botany. And according to that, the engine is able to craft the next level of question. Till the student masters that level, he doesn't go to the next level.
Yeah, so for mastering that level, again, the child has to go back to either the coaching class or the school. You do not have that feature that explains that concept in some way. So it's not completely independent, makes the child independent.
You're right,
That's
absolutely
not there.
right. Now, if you allow me, we have started with this platform to begin
To
somewhere.
begin somewhere, yes.
In the next few months, there is going to be a master class. And the master class is going to be yet again personalized depending on what the student doesn't understand. We are again not calling everybody for the master class that, okay, you come for the master class for physics, for this chapter or for this topic. Not necessarily. We're going down to that subtopic or the granular detail of only those students who do not understand that particular chapter or that particular concept. For 1 hour, we'll just teach them just that.
That's very much required. That's what I
Thank you
wanted
so
to
much.
say.
That's in the
very
journey.
much
That's in the
required.
making of
Yeah.
it. That's very much part of our design. And because we cannot do everything together. So it is one of the baby steps we have to take to be able to give the students a flavor of what we have conceptually designed and produced so that they graduate to the next level.
Yeah, I understand.
Just-
Because for 11th and
yeah.
12th, I guess is the first time that we have come
Correct.
across this kind of module.
Correct.
It has been there till 8th or till 10th, for
Certainly,
sure.
yeah.
So you'll have to come up to that or, add-ons also.
So just
He's
to
the guy to answer most of your other questions. I just jumped in to make sure that I
So just
say a
to
few more
add,
things.
A few points that sir mentioned. Obviously, the student who goes to this any of the external help that they actually require to master these examinations, so they have their curriculum and module altogether. Now, what we as a platform could be doing differently for the students is, let us say, I am a student. I have my physics classes today. I took rotational mechanics is going in my classroom, and today I have been taught how to take moment of inertia. Now, this is the topic that I have been taught in the class. Now, what the student should do is, they could go on the platform, start solving questions of moment of inertia, because they can drill down to that particular topic level. And when they start solving the questions of moment of inertia, if they have any learning gap that needs to be tackled right now and right today itself, because today it is fresh and it could be understood in a much efficient manner than 1 month later. So when they start practicing on the platform the exact topic, the moment of inertia, if there is any learning gap that needs to be taken care today itself, that could be highlighted by the platform in the weaknesses that the student is having. And that is the benefit that the platform usually provides to the students. See, in the modules that are currently the students are going through, that is not giving that any sort of insight. They could only see that in this particular exercise I was not able to solve 4 questions. But why those 4 questions were not solved? What was that one concept that needed to be addressed in each of those in each of those 4 questions is not something that could be derived from solving a booklet or a module which is provided, but you can do that here, and that is how it is going to be very efficient for the students. So that added information layer which needs to be required to be tackled is going to be provided by the platform itself.
That the answers, yes, to a great extent. And yes, once you start actually giving the product,
Correct.
and then you start getting the feedback, then you
Yes.
can always improve, and as per the requirement, you can,
Correct.
take it to a
So
better
there is
level.
a very strong AI and ML engine that works behind the platform. And the more and more a particular, see, I being a child, if I have started working on the platform, it is already very intelligent for me. It is very personalized for me. But when I start spending more and more time, it becomes more and more personalized to what exactly I need, because it starts to go deep and deep into my weaknesses and into my strengths, and start highlighting that one thing that is required to make the entire chapter or the entire subject very strong for me. So that sort of analytics and insights that I start getting.
The students who are really passionate
Yes.
will make the best use of
Yes. I have seen many students while training them in my last 10 years of journey. I could see many of the students, and I really felt very strongly that these are the students that will definitely make it to the examinations, and they'll definitely get qualified and get admission into the IITs. But at the end of the examination, I used to be very surprised that many of them could not qualify these examinations. And not only the students were surprised, I, being their tutor, was equally surprised that they did everything correctly. Then what was that hurdle that was there in their preparation journey that I could not see, that they could not see, which basically let them not qualify for these examinations. And that is how we started, when we started designing. Yeah. So let me take a few of the examples that I want to give. There was one student in Mumbai itself 5 years back. He was very good. He was very good at solving questions. He was very, studious. He used to do all the homework that I used to provide. But then strategy, the examination strategy, as I said, is giving the examination is a complete ball game altogether. Irrespective of how much have you prepared for the examinations, if you are not able to compose yourself during that 3
The
hours
knack
duration.
of attempting the exam.
Yes, exactly. So that was the challenge with him. Few of the students I met, they were very good at solving questions, but the only challenge that they had, they could not remember the formula. It is a very basic thing, but for them, they also thought it is a very basic thing and I could easily overcome this at the end of my preparation journey, but actually it was a big problem. And the problem with formulae is, when you know there is a formula for this, you won't put in more efforts to derive the formula in the examination hall. So there is a positive aspect to it, but there is a negative aspect to it as well. So it is better to be on the positive side of it and remember all the formulas that is required. So these sort of insights, they usually pull many of the students below.
It's a direct question,
Yes.
simple as such.
Yeah.
First of all, congratulations to
Thank you,
UNI team. Wonderful platform which you have developed. What I can see, it's only restricted to JEE and NEET
Yeah.
preparation, those who are appearing. So right in the beginning, when you had put forward the figures and numbers,
yes.
for you it's this much.
Yeah.
What about the other competitive exams? Are you
Correct.
coming up?
So, yes.
Yeah.
Directly on me now.
Okay. No, because it's so good. In you.
Thank you so much indeed
So,
for these
yeah,
kind
it's
words. It means a lot
individualized
to
and
my team.
yes.
And this is the beginning that we wanted to make sure that we test our concept. We're not simply trying to solve the problem of NEET and JEE. We're conceptually trying to solve the problem of the entire learning and the teaching community,
Correct.
making sense out of their efforts together. So after this, we certainly have the plans to go for CUET, because we do understand that that's going to be a big challenge.
Yeah, UPSC.
That's right. UPSC, we are kind of keeping it for a little bit later because it's very complex. And we want to make sure that, I want to be very honest, all of you put together have to believe in what we are doing. And the moment you believe in whatever we are doing, we'll be encouraged to do even better. So once we solve this baby step and this hurdle of NEET and JEE, which is definitely one of the toughest exams, not just this country, but perhaps everywhere else. Once we are able to sort this out, we'll be able to add many more to our list, and we'll work on
Let
it.
us clap for this
Thank
first
you.
baby step, and we all are there to push you a little hard.
Thank you so much indeed, yeah.
And just from the educator front also, I want to add how exactly the platform is going to be very beneficial for me being an educator as well. See, when I was teaching these kids, I usually used to get a lot of doubts from the students, especially when after the examination. So examination के बाद बच्चे आते थे, sir, quadratic equation से मेरे सवाल नहीं बने. Will you teach me quadratic equation? Now imagine quadratic equation is an 8 lecture course. It will be practically impossible for me to teach each and every individual. Someone will come for quadratic equation, someone will come for complex numbers. It is going to be very difficult for me. Now imagine a scenario when the student comes and says, sir, I am not able to solve the question of quadratic equation. It is because I am not able to understand the concept of nature of roots, because the platform has told them that. Now, if the student comes and asks me only about the nature of roots, it's a 5-minute job for me. And my giving 5 minutes to him is going to solve his entire, confusion that he had for the entire chapter of quadratic equation, and is ultimately going to add a lot of value. I'll be happy to do that.
Thank you. Thank you. I think
So I'll invite Hardil, who is our sales head.
Free for 14 platform right away. All your students in your school, kindly do encourage them so that they avail of this opportunity. Uh, I don't want to steal Hurdle's part of the speech. I'll let him do his job, but this is very important and a request from our side that kindly encourage students to log on to the platform, see it to themselves, see how they feel about it, what they think about it, and give us the feedback that we certainly look forward to. It will strengthen their preparation journey because we will do what they want us to do.
One last feedback, SOHW. I want to revise it to make it SHOW, which shows their strengths and weaknesses.
Certainly.
SHOW.
Certainly. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that.
So, any questions from the students? Yeah. Anything you would
Free.
like
I think
to
we
ask
have,
or-
this
yeah.
is for you, so you should ask your doubts and your questions. And there are no dumb questions. There are no wrong questions. Only answers can be dumb and wrong. So feel free, say whatever. Ask, come on.
Okay, maybe one-to-one we can answer you.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. During the lunch time, if you have questions, just get in touch with any one of us and we can one-to-one answer you. Okay? Or else we will give you only little lunch.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, we have come to a wonderful journey by Akash, and he has taken us through this entire platform. And we are glad that you all have been here. So, I would like to thank you all, our esteemed guests, the school leaders, and the students for joining us today in this momentous occasion. We have been extremely privileged to have many of you guide us during the building phase of this Q&I platform. As we start this new journey for Q&I, we look forward to your continued support and guidance. We are also grateful to the promoters of India Today Group who have been guiding us in this endeavor. We have now reached the end of our program for today. And before I close my speech, I would like to mention, which Sir has already and Akash has also mentioned, that the free 14 days trial. But over and above, what we have done is all the schools, all the institutes, those who have been present here. So we are offering a full scholarship for 2 students of your institute whom you can nominate. There is no criteria from our side. It is up to you. You can offer from your school, and these 2 students would get a 1-year free subscription as a scholarship from Q&I side. And with that, I close my speech, and we invite you to the lunch, which has been served on the side of the hall. And we can discuss further if you have any queries, any issues or anything, so we can most welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.